Good morning and hello friends. Welcome back to another episode of Over Easy. My name is Manny. In case you're new here or welcome back, hope you are having an amazing day and an amazing week so far whenever you are listening to this. Let's get started with our usual rosebud and thorn, which is my check-in for the week. My rose for this week, a good thing, is that I've been really into going to the gym. I think I talked about this last week, to be honest. I can't remember at all, but I've been really into going to the gym because I don't even know. Sometimes I'm just really in my gym era, and then other times I'm really in my fitness class era. It just really depends on however I feel. But recently I've been loving the gym. I've been so motivated to do exercises. Yesterday was a leg day. I filmed a TikTok on my leg day and I posted that today. And then today was back and bi, which, oh my gosh, my back was so tired by the end of it. I was like shaking the whole time, which is very crazy. So I'm really into the gym right now and I just really love it. It's like a really nice place to not think about anything and not have to stress about work or whatever's going on in my life, which is very, very nice. Okay, my bud for today is I get to see a bunch of my high school friends tonight. A bunch of them are back in Vancouver just for a little bit before they leave again. And so we are all grabbing dinner. I think there's like 8 to 10 of us, I think even. Yeah, we're all grabbing dinner and then we're going to the club, which today is a Tuesday. So it's not like it's a weekend. We're going to a club on a Tuesday. So I only turn up when my friends are here. And then honestly, I'm going to retire probably. But I actually am kind of excited because I loved going to the club with my close friends and like just dancing the night away. I have not done that in a very long time. I think I went to the club recently in winter, this past winter, but I have not gone to a club with my friends and like been able to actually drink since before COVID, honestly. So I'm actually kind of a little worried about how I'm going to do today. But yeah, I am really excited. I think it'll just be a very fun and wholesome time. But yeah, it's going to be really fun. And we're going to grab dinner tonight before that. I get to leave work early just to do this. I'm leaving work early to go to the club. What a concept. But I'm very excited to see them again. I feel like it's really fun when I see my high school friends again. It's just like very nice to see them. I don't know. Anyways. Okay, this is really random. I'm looking at the viewfinder. My boyfriend recently told me that he doesn't love when I tie my hair up at the top, like kind of like what I have today. Today I have a bunch of little mini ponytails sectioned off because he thinks that it makes me look bald at the top because there's not much volume. And now that I'm looking in the viewfinder, I can kind of see what he's talking about. My top of my head looks really flat. This is so random. So I bring it up now, but now you're gonna look at it. But yeah, we'll see about that. I tried adding a little bit of volume. I did this the second time actually, and it didn't really look good. Anyways, that is my bud. I'll let you know how it goes. It's been a while since I've been to the club, so I'm very excited. It's like such a different time. Like the last time I went to the club in the winter, I had to be sober because I was a drunk driver. Not a drunk driver, a designated driver. Oh my God, I was not a drunk driver. Please never drink and drive. But today I get to not drive. I have somewhere to sleep after, so I'm very excited to drink a little bit and have some fun. So that is my bud. And then my thorn is I am working and covering my boyfriend this week. So if you don't know, my boyfriend and I work at the same place. He's kind of like the manager and I'm just one of the employees. And he's taking the week off. So I am covering for him, doing all of his usual tasks. And yesterday it was crazy busy. So I work at a math tutoring center, in case you don't know. And it's a franchise tutoring center. So, we schedule classes. It's more than just like 4 students. Like I'm dealing with like 30 plus students in a day. So yesterday was honestly one of our chillest days. We had the least amount of students. I think there were only like 27 students throughout the whole shift, but there was just so much going on the whole day. I have to think about what I did. So when I got into work, I was dealing with a whole bunch of emails about people canceling and rescheduling and enrolling and all that. And then I had to set up the online classroom as well as manage the in-center classroom. And then yesterday we also had some new employees starting up, so I had to train them for their first day and kind of get them organized, get them a t-shirt and all of that, which was very stressful because you want to set a good expectation and you don't know how they're going to do, so you don't know if you have to cover them and all that. So it was very, very stressful for me. And then let me think, I also had to make a bunch of phone calls to parents about parents who want to reschedule because it's summer. Everyone's schedule is so crazy that they're missing classes because they're going out of town, which is totally understandable, but the rescheduling aspect is just absolutely crazy. So I had to do a bunch of calls for that. I had to talk to a bunch of parents who came in, like there were some new inquiries that came in. There were parents who were looking to sign up who came in. And then what's worse is in the middle of the day, I was about to have an instructor go home because we were winding down for the day and there weren't many students left. There were actually so many students that came in at their wrong time, at the not proper time that they are supposed to be there. So we ended up having to get the other instructor to stay, and then we had to accommodate all these kids coming in who weren't in their proper class time. It was just a lot to deal with, and I felt like I was just so busy the entire day, which is crazy. And today will be the same thing probably. Actually, today is the chillest day of the week, which is, knock on wood, chillest day of the week because I don't have any new instructors coming in. All the other days of the week I have new people starting and I have to train them and give them their orientation, but today's the only day that is not happening and there aren't many new kids, so that's why I can leave early from work today. But yeah, it was very busy, and honestly, I'm glad that I love my job. Otherwise, it would have been terrible to deal with. But I do really enjoy my job, so it was not bad, you know? So yeah, that's my rose, bud, and thorn for this week. Today, as you can tell from the title of the episode, is basically just a life update / what I have been experiencing in post-grad life. So it's kind of just going to be like a snapshot of what my life looks like right now because I want to document it and I want to talk about it because postgrad life is not always as glamorous as it seems, and I'm going to talk about my own experiences as well as some experiences that I've heard from friends that are also going through postgrad life with me. A lot of my friends have also graduated university this year, so we're all kind of going through a similar stage. So I want to start with talking about a party that I went to this past weekend. I went to a friend's birthday / going away party. So it was her birthday recently and she's going away. She already moved to Toronto to go to med school. And the reason why I want to bring this up is, first of all, this is like the first actual house party I've been to since COVID happened. And I consider house parties as like a party at a house, people are drinking alcohol, but also like I don't know that many people there because I've been to, people's houses and we drink alcohol, but it's like a friend hangout more so. It's like a smaller group. There's like less than 10 people. Like I definitely can remember a few of those instances happening, but house parties I would consider as like 20 plus people. People are drinking. You don't really know everyone, and yeah, so that was kind of the situation. I went to it was a very pretty house and there were so many people, and basically I went with my friends Rebecca and Rachel, which if you've watched my YouTube vlogs or you just know me in real life, you'll know that they're my closest friends at UBC, and we went together and it was just such an experience socializing again. First of all, like I feel so awkward all the time because it's just been 2 years of COVID. Like I've barely gone out recently and now I have to meet all these new people. I did actually talk to a bunch of new people, which was nice. I always try to challenge myself to not just stay with my friends. I did stay for the first little bit with Rebecca and Rachel, and we were just sitting on the couch and eating snacks. But later on, when more people showed up, we did branch out and talk to some other people, which was nice. And I do kind of feel like that, I can't predict the future, but I do feel like that party was probably like the end of my university career party life, if that makes sense. I say as I go to the club tonight, but that's a little bit different, because what I mean by that is at that party, there were also, I knew a bunch of people, but they're just like acquaintances, right? Like I literally only see them at parties. Like it's not like I hang out with them like frequently. It's not like we talk online. Like I truly only see them at house parties. And I was thinking, like, now that I'm not in university, like I'm probably not going to see them again, which is kind of crazy to me. There are so many people that I've met that are kind of just that say hi in passing type of friend, and I feel like you will encounter a lot of that in university. It's really hard to truly make super close friends, in my experience at least. I know a bunch of people that I talk to, my friends made a ton of lifelong friends at their university, but for me it was really hard to take that step from lecture hall friend to actual friend. You know, you have someone you can sit next to in class, but it's really hard to like actually hang out with them and start that friendship, if you know what I mean. But anyways, this house party kind of marked the end of my university party career and somewhat made me a little bit sad, because I don't feel like I'm going to be going to many more of those, or at least like when I go, it's going to be a different phase of my life and different phase for the other people's lives, right? It's not like we're all in school anymore and we're all just focusing on studying and we're just looking for a relaxing unwind. It's more like now when we get together, we're going to be talking about jobs and whatever's going on in our life, and we're all going to be so busy. Everyone's going to be in different stages of their life. So that kind of made me think, and I was somewhat sad at the end. I didn't drink because I was driving home. So yeah, I don't know. It was very interesting. I'm okay with it though. Yeah. I think it's just like those kinds of parties are the best ways to meet people. But now that I'm out of university, it's going to be hard because obviously I'm not going to be invited to those as much. And so we'll see about that. So I'm officially 4 months out in my post-grad life. I ended my university career, all my exams and stuff at the end of April, and now it's pretty much mid-August. So it's been 4 months of this, and I've done a lot. Did some traveling, a lot of working now, and just enjoyed and took life in. One thing, I was having brunch with my friend yesterday and we were catching up, and one thing that I've been telling myself is that, you know, like I don't need to be so stressed about making a plan and having something to do at every moment of the day, because it'll all work out. Like you just have to have faith that it will all work out. And I know the reason why I actually made this episode / had this idea is because I saw a TikTok that I thought was really relatable. Let me try to find it. It was about post-grad life, as you can probably imagine. Here it is. Post-grad life is the most depressing and unfulfilling thing I've ever experienced. Getting a 4-year degree just to be rejected by 200 plus jobs in that field, having to take unpaid internships that lead to nothing, still living at home where you're treated like a child, and not having a single friend from school left. And it's only been 2 months. So for her, it's only been 2 months, but for me, it's been 4. And I actually want to touch on every single thing that she brought up, like the job hunting, living at home, the friends. But for right now, an overarching theme is it is really hard to find purpose when you're in this post-grad stage, because obviously for my entire life up until this point, my only purpose has been doing well in school, and everything that I did was either to get into university, to get good marks, to get a good job. It's all been for school. And now that I don't have that consuming my mind and consuming my life all the time, I'm kind of in shock and also don't know what to do with myself. I think I've done a good job in still having a routine and a structure, which I'm going to talk about later, but it's definitely sometimes I'm like, what is this all even for? Like, why am I doing all of this? You know, we're literally on a piece of floating rock. It's floating in the middle of the space. We don't have any idea where we are. And everything that we know is man-made, human-made, a social construct. Like everything is stupid. So Yeah, finding purpose can be really, really hard for postgrads. So if you are struggling with that, definitely feel you. I would say having a routine and things that you do no matter what the day is, like, I don't know how to explain this. Like keeping your school routine, even if you don't have school, I think will really help. So I maintain a very similar routine, wake up early, go to the gym, and then get ready. But instead of studying, now I just focus on some hobbies that I really like. And that's been something that's really nice for me because this period of my life, I've been focusing a lot on my hobbies, connecting with friends again, seeing them before we all depart in different ways, and just enjoying life. And I think this is like a very special time because you will literally never have a time like this ever again where you don't really have many responsibilities in that you don't have anyone dependent on you unless you have a child. The vast majority of us are childless and maybe even partnerless and are still maybe living at home. So this very finite period of time is so special because you don't have any responsibilities, you don't have any dependence on you, and you really have like all the time in the world. And this is going to be different for everyone. I realize that I'm speaking mostly from my own personal circumstances and situation, and I realize that, I'm a lot more privileged than other people who might have to just work straight out of college just to make ends meet or pay off their bills. So everyone's situation is going to be different. Again, I'm just going to be talking about my own situation and the people that I've talked to recently. So, yeah. Anyways, finding purpose, I think it's been really nice to reshift my life focus to myself. For so long, I was focusing on school, as I said. Actually, I have a couple coworkers that are, okay, I'll talk about one coworker in general. I'm not going to name names, obviously. So I have one particular coworker that is in university still, and I believe they just finished their first year, so they're going into their second year, and they recently started at the place that I work, the math tutoring place. And they are also taking a summer course, or they've been taking summer courses in the summer, I think just to catch up. I don't really know. It doesn't really matter. But like when you're in university, the point of this, I want to bring this up, is that when you're in university, like your sole focus in your life is university. And my coworker has been not the best coworker in that they cancel shifts all the time, tell us that they're unavailable because they have to study for their final and all that. And I understand school is important. You pay lots of money to be there. But again, now that I'm out of school and I have a bit of a different perspective, I'm like, school really is not important at the end of the day. It's such a small thing that a lot of us deal with. But in the end of the day, your school marks literally mean nothing. I've been applying to jobs, which I will talk about in a later bit, and no one asks for your GPA. No one cares. So, yeah. So I think it's actually been really nice. I really like that my purpose is not solely school anymore because honestly, when I was a student, that was what bothered me the most, was like, I don't know why I'm focusing so much of my time. Like I have to, but I really don't want to. Now I feel like my purpose 2.0, my purpose is working on myself, maintaining healthy habits, going to the gym, taking self-care days if I need to, and also trying to be a bigger part of my community. I think that's one part I really lacked in when I was in university. That was like the first thing to go, was I wouldn't socialize with people because I'd be busy, I'd have class, I have to go this and that. But now that I have the time, I've really been trying to make time for my friends, hang out with them often and stuff like that, because I've kind of recently been reminded that, life is short and you won't have forever with these people. I mean, I'm thinking about the friends that I have that are going to be leaving soon and they're moving away for months or maybe forever for jobs. And I'm barely going to see them ever again. And really thinking about that, I'm like, why did I even care about school at all? And, my perspective has obviously changed because I'm not in school anymore. And when I was in school, I'd be like, oh my God, this is so important. Blah, blah, blah. And school is important. I do think education is a privilege, and it is great if you can go to college and university. But at the end of the day, don't be stressed if it's not perfect, and just know that there's so much to life more than university. People are always like, college is the best 4 years of your life. I would sincerely hope that it's not, because that would kind of suck that if you peaked in your 18 to 22 era. I think that would not be great. I think the best years of my life are probably going to be in my mid to late 20s or even my 30s, where I will have a job, maybe somewhere to live, my partner to live with, maybe even kids. I don't even know. I think that'll be such a nice time. So anyways, I think everyone, if you're feeling lost in this post-grad life era, focus on yourself. Don't focus on doing things for other people to make other people think you are XYZ. Don't do things to impress others. Like, you're really out of that now, and there's really no reason to compare to your peers or to others around you. So really focus on yourself. I think this is like the perfect time. Like, this is the only time in your life probably that you can focus on yourself. So do what makes you happy. Take a bit of time to like engage in your hobbies, your passions, whatever you weren't able to do when you were a student. I think it's great. Travel. Oh my gosh, you can learn so much by yourself traveling. I had a bunch of friends who also went on solo trips after we graduated. One of my friends went on a backpacking trip all throughout Europe. And then one of my other friends came back from a trip around Thailand, Vietnam, and Singapore. And them telling me about their experiences, what they learned, what they did was so amazing to me. Like, I was like, wow, this is truly what life is meant to be like. So if you're able to travel, it doesn't even have to be a huge like month-long trip. It could be like a small road trip for yourself to go to a nearby town. It could be just a small flight. It doesn't have to be super far away for you to reap the benefits. I think just getting yourself out of your daily routine and your monotony is so important. So there's so much in life, and it makes me really excited because now I have so much to look forward to, and my life purpose is so much more than just school, which makes me really, really happy. All right, for this next little bit, let's talk about structuring your day as a post-grad. It's very hard. I think what is best is if you have some staple things in your routine that you do every single day as soon as you wake up, so that you're not inclined to just stay in your bed all day. Because job searching and whatever you choose to do can be very unmotivating, and it can be very tiring. So structure your day. Here's an example of what my day looks like. So I wasn't going to start my sentence like that. I wake up at 6 in the morning. And the reason why I do this is because when in the morning, I really need alone time and I really need quiet. So unfortunately, I live in a house with a lot of people. So I just have to wake up before everyone does so that I can have a little bit of peace and quiet, so I can have my sanity. I find that like in the morning, I'm just a little bit irritable, as some people may be. So if I am just like set off by the wrong thing, then I can get really mad or just upset. My patience hasn't kicked in yet. But I wake up at 6, and I think I've talked about my morning routine before, but some of my favorite staples is journaling in the morning, meditating in the morning, and reading in the morning. I think all of these are very calm activities that get my head clear. I can clear out whatever I was dreaming about or whatever I was thinking about, and really just start off the day with a blank slate. Also, these are just activities I genuinely enjoy. I've also been in my journaling era, which I really like. And waking up and getting to do that when I wake up is so fun because I actually look forward to waking up in the morning. So my morning routine has been really nice and gets me started on the right track. It also gives me some me time in a day where I am so busy and crazy busy helping out with everything else. So to have a little bit of me time scheduled into my day is really, really nice, and I enjoy it. I also enjoy working out in the morning. For you, that might look like going to the gym. It might look like going on a hot girl walk. It might look like going to a fitness class. Honestly, movement can be so many different things. Walking your dog, even. I think that movement in the morning is just so nice because it gets me off my phone. I don't like to use my phone in the morning because I feel like I don't like the aspect of social media where you can't see what's coming next. Because that has made me quite upset in the morning at sometimes if I see like a news article that I wasn't mentally ready to see, but I couldn't tell that it was coming, So I don't like being on my phone in the morning, so I try to go to a fitness class. It also is a lot easier for me to go to a fitness class in the morning because later on in the day I'll be tired, I'll be unmotivated, my willpower is not as high, so I can't convince myself to go. Also do movement that you like, right? Like you don't have to do what everyone else does. As long as it's something that you enjoy, that's what's important because that's what's going to be sustainable. I was going to say something else, but now I totally lost my train of thought. Something about fitness. Anyway, I think it's just so important to have a little bit of time for yourself in the morning and just enjoy that. And I've been really enjoying it. As you can tell from my rows today, my gym era, it's been so nice to go to the gym in the morning. It's been so much fun. So, structuring your day. And then I think I read this somewhere else where as a postgrad, when you're job hunting, you need to treat job hunting like a job itself. So I haven't been the best at this, but actually structuring time in your day to work on your applications, to do your interviews, to alter your resume. Like, I think doing that, kind of treating it like a study session or like a job or something else, it will really help out a lot in terms of like, if you're only going by motivation, then it's really hard because motivation is not dependable. It comes and goes, and there's going to be days where you don't have motivation. This was my other thing I was going to say. I remember now. Your willpower is kind of like a bucket. You only have a finite amount every single day. And that is why at the end of the day, it's a lot harder for us to exercise willpower because we've used it a lot throughout the day. So that's why I like exercising in the morning, because my willpower, there's a lot more of it in the morning and it's easier to get me to go. I mean, it also helps that I love going to the gym, but other things in the morning that I usually try to do my hardest things in the morning, because once I get into the afternoon, first of all, I'm groggy from lunch, right? I have that post-lunch coma. And then I have less willpower because I've used it throughout the day. So it's just a little harder for me to get myself to do things. So do your hardest tasks first. Maybe it's a wake up and do your job hunting for a couple hours in the morning, and then you can just do whatever you like after. Might be like that. You never know. Whatever works for you. I think playing around with structuring your day and trying out different routines for a couple days is really nice to experiment and see what works best for you, because all of us are different. Our circadian rhythms are a bit different. Sleep schedule is different. So whatever works best for you, do that. Anyways, so I want to talk about job searching a little bit because oh my God, it's such a big part of postgrad life and it is so hard. I think especially in this economy, it has both to do with the employees' wants and also the employers' wants. I think especially with COVID, actually, let me start with this. Job searching is really hard. Currently, I have seen more than like talking with people and seeing it online. People go hundreds of applications without hearing back from one. So don't be discouraged. I know I am like personally a victim of it as well. I get discouraged, and also I don't hear back from a lot of things. It's just the way it is. And what's meant to be will come. That's what I always tell myself. I attract what is meant for me. What's meant for me will come. And you just have to believe that. I think that is the way. So I have done a little bit of job searching here and there, and I will say the market is just so crazy right now. It is a combination of, like I said, the employees' desires, right? After COVID, everyone is wanting flexible work schedules, being able to work from home, flexible work hours, a little bit better benefits. We're not into that 9 to 5 corporate life anymore. A lot of us aren't. Some people love it. I know they love the stability of it and stuff like that, but not everyone desires that anymore. I know I personally don't. I really don't want that. And it's just because of COVID and what that has taught us about work and life and what we've been doing for the past, since the industrial era, pretty much. So I do think that, yes, our desires have increased a lot as job searchers. And the thing is that employers are not willing to give that right now. My mom manages a business, and she was talking to me about how it's so hard to hire people right now. And I was telling her, I was like, you need to look at your place. First of all, you don't offer work from home, which a lot of people don't want nowadays. You pay not enough, especially with the rising inflation rates and also just what people value themselves at. You don't pay enough for them to want that job. And also, why would anyone want that? I personally don't want that. I told her, I literally was like, I don't want to work for you. I would never, because of your low pay and also your inflexible work schedule. Honestly, if a work environment had a low pay but there were good benefits, like a good environment, lots of benefits like food in the office or flexible work schedules, I'd be willing to do it. But it's just the fact that employers and corporations are still stuck in the now we need to go back to what was before mindset, and we are all, as employees, not into that anymore. We can't. We see how much employers just pocket the profits at the expense of the employees. And we were in such a unhealthy go lifestyle all the time that now is just unreasonable. Everything is so expensive. I talked about last week about how I've been apartment hunting, and it's just crazy how much just a 1 bed and bath costs. And I'm not even trying to live downtown. I'm just trying to live in the suburbs, and it is crazy how expensive it is. If you want something a little bit newer and nicer, there's just so much demand, first of all, that if you're not able to pay, someone else will. I don't know what the word is. I can only think of the word cock-blocked. I've been cock-blocked a couple times because I'm just not able to pay what the landlords are asking for, and other people are willing to because there's so much demand and everyone's looking for a place to live. I recently saw an apartment listing online where an apartment in the suburbs, the landlords were charging $2,400 for a 1 bed, 1 bath. And granted, that apartment, I went to actually go tour that complex. The amenities are really nice and it's brand new. But the thing is, if you compare that to an apartment downtown, I recently actually saw an apartment downtown in one of the most expensive neighborhoods for the same price. It's crazy how much landlords are charging nowadays, and it's just so much that it's literally impossible to live like that. So I don't know what my status is with moving out. I really do want to move out, but it's just somewhat unfeasible, and it's very sad. Honestly, I was very sad about it over the weekend, so I don't really want to talk about it. It made me cry. I didn't actually cry, but I was very sad because it's just I don't know, our lifestyles are changing so much and the economy is just screwed. What was funny was at the party that I went to this past weekend that I was talking about earlier, we were making fun. We were like, oh my God, we're so old now. We're not into the drinking lifestyle anymore and just having a rager. We started talking about the economy and how it's going into recession. Yeah, so that's what adulthood does to you. Anyways, if you are going through job searching and job hunting right now, as am I and a lot of people that I know, just know that It is okay. What's meant to be will come. Don't be discouraged if you have a lot of applications and you don't hear back from any of them, because that is just the way it is at times. I think everyone is just, our job economy is just so different and is such a shifting landscape right now that don't be discouraged if you're not getting your dream job, and don't be discouraged if you hear nothing at all, because I will personally tell you, I have heard barely anything from the places that I apply to. So just know that it is okay and we're all going through it together. The last thing that I want to talk about is kind of this feeling that I've been getting, which is you're feeling both young and old in this life era. I really felt it a couple days ago, and I was just like, oh my goodness, it's just such a weird phase right now. You feel young because so there's a lot of reasons why I feel very young. First of all, in terms of the renting and the looking for a place to live, I have no experience renting. One of the things that I've been thinking to myself these past few weeks is I regret not moving out as a university student and getting a landlord, because now I have no renting experience, and it can be a deterrent for a lot of landlords that are looking at my application. So I feel so young because I have like no experience in this whatsoever, renting at all. And then also just like doing life at all. Like I have no experience, having to manage my own space. I live with my family still, and I am quite pampered at home. I get home cooked dinner and I don't really have to think about it. I also feel young because obviously job searching, like I also have very little experience, whereas a lot of jobs nowadays are asking for 3 to 5 years of experience, 1 to 3 years of experience. I'm like, how am I supposed to get experience if I can't even get a job that will give me experience? You know what I mean? I'm just like, what the heck? How? It's like an endless loop. Also feeling young because a lot of old people, I feel like, will discredit the pain and suffering that we are going through. I know that one thing that I've been frustrated with recently is that my mom doesn't take my struggles seriously because, she's older than me, and she is now in a comfortable stage in her life, and she doesn't remember what it's like to be in this stage right now. So I feel very young in those circumstances. Also, I also, in a positive way, feeling young, I know that I have my whole life ahead of me, and I'm really excited about that. That makes me very happy. And that is one reason why I like feeling young, because, I actually am still in my 20s. I've barely gotten into adulthood. Like, I'm 4 years in. Like, that's barely anything. I know it can feel like the end of the world at times, but just in the grand scheme of things, it is barely anything right now. So that's why I've been telling myself, like, not to feel guilty that I don't have a job right away, or I don't have this and that right away. It's because, like, it's okay to take a bit of time, right? In the grand scheme of my life, these couple months or years, it's probably really little compared to the time that I'm going to be working, the time that I've been in school, and all that. And then I also simultaneously, while feeling young, also feel so old, because, everyone, it's like as soon as you turn 18, they're kicking you out of the kid lifestyle, right? Now that I'm 22, first of all, I've been kicked off of health insurance because I'm no longer a student. And now I also don't have a job that gives me health insurance. So, for example, when I go to the dentist this winter for my biannual, is that right? Every 6 months I go to the dentist for a cleaning. My biannual cleaning checkup, I'm going to have to pay for that out of pocket because I'm not a student anymore. And now I don't fall under like the young adult benefits that are nice. And then also, my parents, they're like starting to look at me as an adult, and they're expecting adulting things when I just also can't manage that right now. It's like the expectations are that you are like a fully functioning adult in society, but in reality, it's really hard to get adjusted like that. Like a lot of people see it as black and white. It's like you're in school, you're out of school. Okay, now you're an adult and you have these full-fledged expectations that you need. You're supposed to pay bills. You're supposed to pay rent. You're supposed to start saving for a family and a mortgage. When in reality, I'm not ready for that yet. And I literally don't have the experience for that yet. So that is been making me feel old as well, and also young. And then also, one thing personally is like I don't feel the struggles that I did when I was in high school or university anymore, if that makes sense. Like because I'd work with a lot of children, I talk to them and, they're going through a lot of things that I used to go through or I can relate to. And it makes me feel like, oh, like I don't feel those things anymore at all. It's like now I feel different struggles and different problems, which makes me feel really old and also makes me really nervous because obviously I've never dealt with these things before. I think it's like entering a new stage that is not familiar is making me very nervous and somewhat not okay. I don't know how to deal with it, guys. I know. I think everyone can relate to me, or a lot of people can relate to me with this episode, and I hope it makes you feel a little bit better that, we don't have everything figured out. Like literally, we just started our lives. You don't need to have everything figured out right away. And just know that it's okay. Take your time. Like, I think I'm really trying to embody the statement of, like, don't rush. Don't fully get into X, Y, and Z right away. Like, take your time with discovering what you like, discovering what you want, and figuring out what you want your life to look like. We don't need to have it all figured out right away. And it's totally fine if you do. I commend you for that. Like getting a job right after graduation, or being able to buy a house, or getting married, or whatever. Everyone's on their different paths now. I think that's another big thing about post-grad life is that, like, everyone is doing something different, which is crazy because in high school and university, pretty much, like, everyone's doing somewhat of the same thing. But now that you're in adulthood, like, you really have full reign over your life and you can do whatever you like. And that is a very crazy thing to let that settle in. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this episode talking about post-grad life and just what I've been feeling and dealing with recently. Again, just know that it's okay. Like, we will one day look back at this period of our life and know that it was necessary for us to get where we are. So I'm taking it as a growth period, and it'll be a great growth period. I'm focusing on myself, dealing with what I need first, and just enjoying that because I've rarely had that in my life. Anyways, as I said, I'm really busy this week because I'm working a ton and I'm covering my boyfriend. So I'm going to have to go because I have a couple things to do today after this. And so I will see you in my next episode. Make sure you check out the show notes and the YouTube description in case you're watching on YouTube for all of the social medias. You can follow me if you like. Keep up with me on my Instagrams and TikTok and all that. And I will see you in my next episode. Bye.
And I was like, yo.